disgrace Allah. He put you here for a purpose. Do you know it? Everybody got this book? Who don't have this book? Who don't have one of these? You don't have one of these? I'll give you this one. Make sure you can get it and read it, because it's needed. Islam. That's our laws. A lot of people say it's the laws of nature. The Holy Quran of Mecca is the laws of nature. It tells you about the zodiac and everything else, the water, how it comes. It tells you all kind of stuff.
Islam.
A lot of people scared of that book. Well, you scared of that book, you scared of your own salvation. I want to read something that was put out by Marcus Garvey, The True Solution of the Negro Problem by Marcus Garvey, 1920. As far as the Negro is concerned, most of us still think we Negroes.
Uh-oh.
That nigga crazy, right? For real. A lot of our people, they see us, what's wrong with that nigga? Why he dressed like that? Why she look like that? What's that Islam? What's a draw? You draw me a picture. You know, we say certain stuff and they be like, what you talking about? As far as the Negro is concerned in America, we have the problem of lynching, peonage, and disenfranchisement. Some people say, we're not getting lynched no more. Yeah, we get economically lynched. They hanging niggas out to dry. Economically. They boycott us and we don't even understand economic boycotts. They don't buy our stuff, do they?
No.
And they teach us not to buy our stuff, right? So they choking us. In the West Indies, South and Central America, we have the problem of peonage, serfdom, industrial and political governmental inequality. It's called institutional racism. Look it up. In Africa, we have not only peonage and serfdom, but outright slavery, racial exploitation, and alien political monopoly. What is this alien political monopoly? Where you get your toilet paper from? For real. Who makes your cosmetics? Who bottled water you drinking? Just little simple stuff. They have a monopoly on everything that Allah gave to us. Don't none of this grow in Europe, naturally. So how they run everything? They have an alien political monopoly. They move in, conquer a territory, and they set up a monopoly on the natural resources. This is what Garvey's talking about. We cannot allow a continuation of these crimes against our race. So I'm not just saying, oh, there's just Taylor Hill going off on this rant again. No, Garvey said this in 1920. We behind the times. How old was Nelson Mandela?
93.
93. So he was born around this time? Somebody said 95. Say 95? Oh. So he was born when this was taking place? So that's why he got that spirit like that? Yes. We cannot allow a continuation of these crimes against our race. The human race. There's only one race on the planet, right? The human race?
Islam.
All right. Is everybody human?
Islam. No.
Do you have you?
Yes.
Islam.
Do everybody have you?
Nope.
Self-explanatory. As 400 million men, women, and children worthy, as for 400 million men, women, and children worthy of the existence given by the divine creator. Are you worthy of the existence given to you by the divine creator?
Islam.
We are determined to solve our own problem. Are you?
Islam.
Like you said, we. You say we like the prophet say with us, right? By redeeming our motherland, Africa, from the hands of alien exploiters and found there a government, a nation of our own, strong enough to lend protection to members of our race scattered all over the world. You know Africa ready to help, lend a helping hand? He say, oh, it's in the back. What else did Marcus Garvey say? He say, Ethiopia just stretch forth her hand, and princes will come out of Egypt. Prince of Peace came out of where? He's known as what? The Egyptian what? Okay. Prince of Peace, right? By redeeming our motherland, Africa, from the hands of alien exploiters and found there a government, a nation of our own, strong enough to lend protection to members of our race scattered all over the world, and to compel the respect of the nations and races of the earth. We need people to stop going in Africa getting the oil.
Islam.
We need the Arabs to stop selling the oil that was actually in Africa that they want to call the Middle East. What's the Middle East? That's like saying Midwest. They want to say Midwest because Chicago there. See the East or it's West.
Islam.
Do they lynch Englishmen, Frenchmen, Germans, or Japanese? They will use a samurai on you before they let you lynch them. That Bushido blade will cut your head off before you lynch one of them, or cut the rope so that they can get at you. Because you're not lynching them, right? No. And why? Because these people are represented by great governments. So in order for us to stop being treated like we are, we must be represented by a great government. Mighty nations and empires, strongly organized. Yes, and ever ready to shed the last drop of blood and spend the last penny in the national treasury to protect the honor and integrity of a citizen outraged anywhere. Did that sound too extreme to you? Dude, go cash yourself off the Temple Mount or the Temple walls, right? And see if the angels protect you. Until the Negro reaches this point of national independence, all he does as a race will count for naught. So Garvey is telling us everything we've done since Garvey left. It's been for naught. Since no majority passed his form, he came and delivered something. Nobody wanted to listen to him. They thought he was crazy too, right? They tried to poison him and kill him and put him in jail and everything else, right? Until the Negro reaches this point of national independence, all he does as a race will count for naught, because the prejudice that will stand out against him, even with a ballot in his hand. You hear that one? Even with the ballot in his hand. So you can vote all you want to. If you don't have political economics, your vote doesn't count. I said it in D.C. Say it here. Your vote don't count. People keep saying, well, yeah, dude, everybody's vote is counted. Not if you're an economic slave. Your vote don't count because you don't have political economics, that which forces the politicians to come to your aid. We insert, right? Praise Allah. Do you know, I went to the Emergency Operations Center downtown this week. There's no major industry in your neighborhood. Some great catastrophe happening, you can wait from 2 weeks to a month, and they ain't coming. This is not hearsay. They're not coming. Because there's nothing viable in your community for them to protect. Straight out. Nothing. Just a bunch of workers. We can get workers from another country that's not having this turmoil right now. They do it all the time. Go on the East Coast right now, it's crazy. You go to New York right now, you'll see a bunch of new Africans. Why do I say new Africans? Because they get rid of the old ones they brought in slavery and bringing in new ones that don't have the stigma of slavery and they don't have to pay them back. So if they can even get you to mate with them and they teach you their demonstration and you forget about your interest in this country, then they win. They get you to practice their culture instead of your own, they win. That's why Garvey called a lot of the tribes in Africa backwards. But a lot of us say, well, we got to get back to being Afrocentric. What Africans?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody didn't live in palaces. There is some mud huts and thatched roofs in Africa right now. Now, were they always like that? No. But it exists. They have went backwards. They have decivilized themselves and have been more decivilized by the Europeans that come in and colonize them. Because they follow behind them Europeans. It's not so much that the European is constantly on them. It's that. Don't get it wrong. But we choose to keep following these Europeans. We want their t-shirts, their underwear. We're just being honest. We want their underwear. You know, the only thing we really need to give Africans is their water system, which is our water system. We need to purify their water so they can stop getting them worms they get that's caused them to go blind and all that other good stuff. Other than that, leave them alone. I was looking at one book. I saw a brother make a pool table out of mud and sticks. He was using lemons as pool balls. African ingenuity, wonderful. But we don't, our children, we don't have a PlayStation where we can put these two thumbs to work. Mama, I'm bored. We got to get that African ingenuity back in our children so that they can produce something. Because it's there, it's in their genes. With his industrial progress to show will be of such an overwhelming nature as to perpetuate mob violence and mob rules. I'm going to read the whole sentence, you can get it. Until the Negro reaches this point of national independence, all he does as a race will count for naught. Because the prejudice that will stand out against him even with his ballot in his hand, with his industrial progress to show, will be of such an overwhelming nature to perpetuate mob violence and mob rule. In other words, Tulsa, Oklahoma. You'll be able to produce whatever you want, the goodwill and intelligence Allah gave you, you'll be able to produce. Make your own houses, you have your own pool halls, own pools, theaters, zoos with the animals you want to keep that you know you can actually tame and reproduce instead of making them crazy, and as soon as they break out, they're killing people. No, you have your own civilization, and they'll burn it down. The first fighter jets was on Tulsa.
Yep.
Straight out. First time America dropped bombs on anybody from a plane was right here in the United States of America. But we keep, oh, I'm fighting for my country. I'm fighting for my country with people in my country. That's the constitutional oath. You are protected against people foreign and domestic. We might have to start saying domestic and foreign so that people can get it. Because we got more people fighting us here than we do overseas, right? A lot of them are not fighting us. They fighting the same colonization that the United States, Europeans have brought to their country. And we fighting against them. No. That's what the brothers in the 60s and 70s understood. Why am I fighting this war? They said, go home, black man. It's not your war. And if you don't get it, they cut your protesty off and let you understand what you're doing. Straight out. You don't understand what I'm talking about? Go look at, was it The Dead Presidents? That was a good movie. I like that movie. From which he will suffer, and which he will not be able to stop with his industrial wealth and with his ballot. So they're so scared because they can't stop us with their industrial wealth. They're making all this money. The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Carnegies. What's the other one? The J.P. Morgan. They tried everything they can to get what we have, and it's just like, all your money don't do no good. They put all this money into the humanities, they say, right? Just so that they can steal the technology that we keep coming up with. That's what it's for. Right, Mom? Right. Get that more book. Y'all need to let y'all children see the movie Atlantis by Disney. Oh. That man there represents J.P. Morgan. You may argue that he can use his industrial wealth and his ballot to force the government to recognize him. But he must understand that the government is the people. We the people?
Islam.
Not we the invaders?
Islam.
We the inhabitants? Not we the colonizers? Not we the visitors? We the people?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That the majority of people dictate the policy of governments. And if the majority are against a measure, a thing, or a race, then the government is impotent to protect that measure, thing, or race. Now the prophet of majority tells us and teaches to his brother immediately that if the majority is wrong, you wrong. Islam. If only one is right, then that's the majority.
Islam.
So we with that. But we also want to produce a whole bunch of children and teach them science per excellence. That's what Garvey talks about. We have to stop being like like the European, we don't want no more children. I got too many. The Latino is not going for that. He gonna have as many babies as he can. She gonna have as many babies as she can, and the moral character of it don't have nothing to do with it. I'm gonna leave it just at that. They have as many women as they want to. She have as many men as she want to, and they're gonna produce some babies that, guess what? By the year 2013, they control the political vote.
Yep.
But they just now start coming to the country in numbers since the 50s. But we like, oh, you know, I ain't having no mortgage. It's hard on me. They will live in anything.
Yep.
13 to whatever little vacant spot they in. Because they know in 13 years,
Yep.
I got 13 little different industries.
Yep.
We don't think like that. We think emotional. Straight out. I feel, man, you feel stupid. If you don't, you should. Because how could a foreigner come to this country, take every resource that we've been given, and lose it? Like, we've been given all this stuff, and we lose it to a newcomer.
Wow.
Now they the new minority, and they taking benefits from all the minority grants and everything else, because we don't have no understanding. And we know we're not minors. We're not minors. We really don't want your grant. We want our stuff back. But in order to get our stuff back, we need to maneuver and use everything we can to gain what is ours. What Malcolm say? By any means necessary. See, that's why I like this thing. We can talk about all the great leaders. Yes. Some people don't like to do that. Oh, you can't talk about that. You can't. Some people got mad at me for giving the Quran to the sister from the podium. Aha! Get over it. We derive our power and authority from the great Quran of Muhammad, right? We learn the divine laws of the Holy Quran of Mecca, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. What are people thinking about? Oh, if I get you thinking, you say yourself. So that must mean they not thinking, huh? Praise Allah. Praise Allah. If the Negro were to live in the Western Hemisphere for another 500 years, he would still be outnumbered by other races who are prejudiced against him. So that's just talking about what we're talking about with the Hispanic. They are outnumbering us because we put our own moratorium on our children. Straight out. Like they say, it was a DVD that came out, I think the most, let me see it for the first time, the Black Holocaust. The most dangerous position, the most dangerous place for a so-called African baby is in his womb. Is in the mother's womb. Because she'd kill them off. It's not gang violence. It's not AIDS. It's not bullying. You can't bully us to make us kill ourselves, right? We're retaliating. We're not doing that. The most dangerous place is in the womb because sisters are told not to have babies. Don't do that. Girl, you can't live like that. He just trying to have you barefoot and pregnant. No, you're not. He's trying to reproduce. What was Adam told? Be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. Yeah, we know. It was people already here. It's not about the fact that people already here, like there's people already out there, like, you know, it's a whole bunch of children that's already out here. They don't have the genetic makeup to change the earth, though. They've been traumatized. They can't do it. But we can. So Moors, brothers and sisters, get you a mate and populate. Feel offended? Get over it. Straight out, get over it. He cannot resort to the government for protection, for government will be in the hands of the majority of people who are prejudiced against him. Mexicans don't like us. No, Mexicans don't like niggas.
Right.
I don't like niggas.
I don't like.
The thing is, the problem with y'all, he said there is no niggas. There is no such thing. So no, I don't like fictition. I don't like falsehood.
Exactly. Right.
There's no such thing as no nigga. He an unconscious or dirty Moor. Sometimes it might be unconscious dirty Moors. Or dirty unconscious Moors, right? Straight out, let's be honest. But they still Moors though, right? That's what we need to understand. They're still Moors. Hence, for the Negro to depend on the ballot and industrial progress alone will be hopeless, as it does not help him when he is lynched, burned, Jim Crow, and segregated. Are we still being segregated? Isn't South, don't we call it South Central? What the heck is South Central? Sister always telling me on that. It's not South Central, it's South LA. But they actually had it. Central was like way over there. How you be on Western, on Crenshaw, and you say you from South Central? Just think about that. Because that's the stigma they put on us, because that's where the African American community resides. So you segregate. You don't move to Hollywood and say, I'm living in South Central. Like I said, you be on Crenshaw, talking about you live in South Central though. See the mindset? We still segregated. You got your own movie theaters that wasn't built by you. It wasn't built by you, so you segregated. You know, you got your own McDonald's in your neighborhood. Segregated. People don't see that. You got your, you know, we got a little bit of money, so they gonna put, they ain't one of them ritzy restaurants or something. Yeah, the rich, they'll build your own hotels in your area. You niggas stay here. Tell them the truth, y'all gotta see it for what it is. What you don't have is brand new car dealerships. Think about that. What you say? Yeah, we don't have our own individual hospitals. No, oh no.
No bank.
You lost your mind. Skyscraper. Then you start skyscrapers out and start looking up. That's how they see it. You get a skyscraper, you gonna look up like sister's doing. Looking up at it. What's somebody wrong? European when saw you doing that? Don't y'all take your head off. What you doing looking up?
Right.
Keep your head down. Straight out. They don't want you looking up. But we Moors. We know we come from the stars, so we looking for where we about to go to. And we need this manifest. But you segregated. You can't even get there no more, right? They keep you here. You can't even get to Africa. They want to keep you here away from them. Because, you know, we Afrikaners. You're not African. You're not Afrikaan. You Dutch.
Right.
You don't have, you got literally people over there with Mandela. They're over there with him. Talking about, you not Afrikaan. You Dutch. Go home. So they segregated. You stay here. Africa's an empire. No. You're from Mozambique. You from Nigeria. You from Egypt. This is Africa. You need to start gang banging it. Like I said, y'all start from the A, right? Y'all young people know what I'm talking about? Represent the A? Yeah, the A. Represent all of Africa.
The A.
We don't get it. We keep letting them segregate us. South Africa against North Africa. East Africa against West Africa. Middle East. Right? Against all Africa. But that's Africa. Man, these people lost their mind. We lost our mind right along with them. The future of the Negro, therefore, outside of Africa, spells ruin and disaster. So, again, it's not about going back to Africa to live. It's nice, though. It's real nice. We should do that. Have a home over there in Africa, pay taxes in Africa, but bring the resources from wherever we are scattered out across the world back to Africa and build it like we built every other continent. That's what going back to Africa is. Going back to Africa empty-handed might get you no hands. Because in Islamic country, you go back empty-handed, you're going to steal something, they're going to cut your hands off. So going back to Africa with nothing in your hand might make you lose your hands. So go back with something. And even if you don't have nothing in your hands, have something that your hands can produce. And then they'll welcome you, love you. Go over there and teach them English, because you know a lot of them are so intelligent, they'll figure out how to conquer Rome before we will. Because we've been so colonized. Go teach them English so that they can learn the system. Right or wrong? Right. So that's all we got to do, more is actually focus. Praise Allah while we focusing. Set up a structure and understand that when it's time to branch out, we can branch out. About to close up and read just a quick segment of the Holy Quran, the Moorish Science Temple of America, what I asked my dear brother to read. Just going to read a small little part. The Moorish Science Temple, this is from the end of time fulfilling the prophecy. The Moorish Science Temple of America is a lawfully chartered and incorporated organization. Any subordinate temple that desires to receive a charter, the prophet has them to issue to every state throughout the United States, etc. People wonder why I won't let them stop me. No, y'all not going to limit us like that. It's not happening. The prophet said he has an issue to every state throughout the United States. If you don't have an issue, then you must not represent the prophet.
Islam.
It's just simple. That the world may hear and know the truth. That among the descendants of Africa there is still much wisdom to be learned in these days for the redemption of the sons of men unto love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We as a clean and pure nation descended from the inhabitants of Africa do not desire to amalgamate or marry into families of the pale-skinned nations of Europe. Neither serve the gods of their religion, because our forefathers are the true and divine founders of the first religious creed for the redemption and salvation of mankind on earth. You founded religion, like I said. The prophet was sent out to save mankind. You're not mankind. You're man.
Islam.
Mankind isn't mentioned in chapter 1.
Islam.
Mankind is mentioned in the end of the book.
Islam.
Duh. Because at the end time, you're going to have to save mankind. Man is. Man going to have to save his kind. Therefore, we return to church and Christianity. Got to make a quick point. I was going to do some corporate structuring. I found out the only way you can actually get a lot of government benefits is to be recognized as a church. I said, I ain't having it. I'd rather do what we need to do on another level than get recognized as a church, but call us a temple. You got masjids known as churches corporately. Prophet tell us to give the church and Christianity back to the Europeans. It ain't happening. Therefore, we return the church and Christianity back to the European nations, as it was prepared by their forefathers for their earthly salvation. While we, what is your nationality?
Moorish American.
While we, the Moorish Americans, are returning to Islam. What is your religion?
Islam.
Which was founded by our forefathers for our earthly and divine salvation. And with that, I say Islam.
Islam.
Praise Allah, Lord.